Hi guys, happy Saturday. I hope everyone is doing good. For this wreath, most everything came from Dollar Tree. And you are going to need a pack of cooling racks, and you're only going to need one cooling rack for this wreath. And it's actually a door swag. You will need about 3 colors of the 10 or 12 inch deco mesh. I didn't use any 6-inch, and I also didn't use a sign. You will need your hot glue gun, glue sticks, scissors, floral stem wire, and some pipe cleaners. And you might want some flowers and maybe a pair of kids' sunglasses for this door swag. And if you have some extra ribbon with wire, you might want to add a bow to the center too. You will also want to purchase 1 or 2 pairs of flip-flops at Dollar Tree, and these are the size 5-6 in the women's. You'll want to place your cooling rack with the legs facing the ceiling. And I believe this deco mesh came from Hobby Lobby. It's either Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and it's just some leftover that I had from another wreath. But you're going to take your left hand, kind of slide it through and form a poof, about a 10 or 12 inch poof. And you're going to want to take a pipe cleaner and you're going to secure it to your first or second wire on your cooling rack. And it's easier if you cut your pipe cleaners in half, but I didn't on this first row, but on the second row I had my pipe cleaners already cut and ready to go. So just take your pipe cleaners, thread it through to the back and give it a few twists and tuck it down. You can always trim off the extra at the end. Fluff your loop, or poof or puff, whatever you like to call them. Okay, you're going to want to fold your outer edges inward and form your next poof that's about the same size, roughly 10 or 12 inches, and also secure it on the first or second wire of your cooling rack with a pipe cleaner. And you might want a zip tie too to hang your door swag up with at the end. I don't think I mentioned that, but I used a zip tie to hang mine. But you're going to want to make 3 or 4 poofs for the top half of this cooling rack, and you can see there's a wire separating it from the top and the bottom. So you'll do 3 or 4 on the top, then 3 or 4 on the bottom half, and you're going to do the same style poof that you did on the top on the bottom so that each end matches. And I just did the hot pink on the left, and then I did the bright yellow on the right. If you wanted to use the 21 inch, I think that you would probably just have to do the 1 row down the center because it would be so fluffy, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried it with the 21 inch. So I just used the 2 colors, but if you want it really full and fluffy, you might want to do a middle row. And just kind of push them forward so that, it's full and fluffy. And here I'm starting on the bottom half. So like I said, 3 or 4 poofs on the top, 3 or 4 poofs on the bottom. And just twist it to the back and trim off the extra at the end. And this is real simple and inexpensive. Like I said, if you have some extra deco mesh from a previous craft project, use it. Don't go out and buy new. Use what you have. Just make it work. Try to save some money. I always like to save money when I can. Okay, so here's the left side. Okay, and it's the same steps on the right side as the left. Just form your loop or poof or puff, whatever you like to call them, and secure it to the cooling rack. And like I said, if you want it really full, then I would suggest maybe doing a color like a blue or green in the center. That would look really pretty for summer. And I did not use this sign that you saw at the beginning of the video from Dollar Tree. I had planned to use it, but it was just a little bit wider than, I thought I needed on this swag. So I didn't use it. I ended up just using the 1 pair of flip-flops, the size 5-6. But I also added some kids' sunglasses and some little flowers that came on some hair clips from Dollar Tree. We just popped the flowers off and hot glued them onto the door swag, which you'll see that in just a second. You could also probably do this door swag using the 6-inch deco mesh from Dollar Tree, but you'll probably need to do 4 rows across, or maybe even 5 to make the cooling rack full and fluffy. So it's a thought. You can make it work with the smaller deco mesh. Like I said, it just takes a little bit more, more rows to make it full, but you can do it. So just use what you have at home. And I'm just finishing the bottom of the yellow just like I did the pink, with a poof at the top and at the bottom. Just try to make the poofs about the same size. But this one ends up being fluffy and full with just 2 rows of the 10-inch. And then you could take, where I'm cutting this off, you could take a zip tie and secure it to the cooling rack so that it's, nice and secure. I didn't, but you could. And then you're just going to want to fluff your loops. Okay, and at first I thought I was going to do a zigzag pattern with 2 pairs, but when we started placing them on there, it was just a little bit too much, I thought. So I ended up going with the 1 pair of flip-flops instead of the 2, and I'm just using some floral stem wire to wrap it around the bottom little prong, or whatever you call it, plastic piece. Instead of hot gluing, I thought if I wired them on, they'd stay on better, because I have had flip-flops that I've hot glued on and they've fallen off. So I thought this time I'm going to wire them on to make sure, and make sure they stay on. But I also added a little hot glue to the bottom to keep them in position like I wanted. But just thread the floral stem wire through the deco mesh and give it a few twists on the back. And then you can You can trim off the extra wire when you get finished, or just fold it down. And they had lots of fun prints and colors of flip-flops at Dollar Tree too. And then, like I said, I just added a little hot glue so that it would stay in place and not move. And then this is some leftover ribbon with wire with the flamingo print that I used on my mermaid wreath that I purchased the ribbon at Hobby Lobby, and I had a little bit of extra, so I just tied a simple bow and I placed it in the middle of my flip-flops. So if you have some extra ribbon and you need a smaller bow, ribbon with wire always works best, but just tie a quick bow and then thread it through the deco mesh and secure it to the back of your cooling rack. And I thought this worked out good because flamingos, summer, flip-flops, and also my flamingos have, my flip-flops have flamingos on them. And I don't know about y'all's weather, but it is cool today, so we're wearing long sleeves and jeans today. So I don't know, it seems like this spring has been one of the coolest springs I remember, because we're usually wearing shorts by now every day. So I hope the weather's nice where you are. But here I'm just fluffing the loops, and like I said, that was just some leftover ribbon I had, and I just thought it looked cute with the pattern on the flip-flops, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's just an option. And then I tied 2 bows with a 10-inch deco mesh. This is kind of like a shimmery light pale blue. So I tied one for the top left corner and one for the bottom right corner. Kind of placed them diagonal from each other. But you can do whatever you want. It's just an idea. And just keep it pinched tight in your left hand, back and forth, making the loops about the same size. And you'll want to have floral stem wire close by. I didn't leave a tail on these. Just keep it pinched tightly in the center with your left hand. Wrap the floral stem wire tightly around the center. And do not cut off your wires, because you're going to use your wires to attach it to the cooling rack. And you're ready to fluff your loops. And deco mesh tries to kind of stick to your sleeves and tries to stick to itself. So, you just have to be patient working with it because it makes a full and pretty bow. But if you don't want it hardly as fluffy and full, you could use the 6-inch deco mesh on this bow. Okay, and I'm just wiring it to the top left corner, threading it through the deco mesh. You'll want to always thread your wire through the deco mesh because you don't want to pull and flatten it and it lose its shape. So thread your wire through your deco mesh each time and just secure it to the back. Okay, and a lot of people always ask me, is this one okay to put outside? And I would say yes, this one's definitely a good one to put outside. Deco mesh does well outdoors, and the flip-flops are plastic. So I would say yes, this one is a perfect one, to put outdoors. I always like them to have a little bit of shelter from the weather. But, if you have one that you're wanting to put outdoors, I think this one will make it just fine, especially for one season. Of course, the sun's going to make it fade, so it won't be as pretty next year. But I think it'll be fine if you want to put this one outdoors. I have kind of a little bit of a covered porch, so mine's kind of sheltered from the weather and it doesn't ever get wet. But I have noticed, the deco mesh, the colors aren't as bright when I take them down. But here I'm just adding the second bow on the bottom right corner and fluffing the loops. And you can place your flip-flops wherever you want. This is just, what I came up with, but there's lots of options out there. Just be creative and do what makes you happy. And Dollar Tree really has some cute things in for summer. Lots of cute signs and things. And I had picked up some kids' sunglasses, some little yellow ones, and my daughter had picked up some hair clips. And so these are the flowers we just popped off of those hair clips and stuck on here. They're not the best quality of flowers. The floral picks might be a better option, but that's just what I had, so I was trying to use what I already had purchased. And so we just stuck a few flowers on. I just hot glued them to the mesh, and then I added a zip tie before I hung it up on my door. So here it is, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and like and share, and I hope you'll have a great day.